Hey everyone, I hope everyone is having a great day and a great week. It has been a couple weeks since we last did a stream and last played through an encounter on Keep on the Shadowfell, but I'm excited to get back into it. Got another encounter planned for tonight. This one is going to be quite difficult. I was looking ahead at it, and this is definitely the boss battle of this point in the adventure. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it goes okay. I'll look for some input from the chat as we go here, and we'll see if how we make out. We won't have a stream next week because of the holidays again. So we're kind of, with the holidays, we're kind of off and on here. Once we get past the new year, we'll probably get back to once a week going through one of the encounters here. And then once we're done with Keep on the Shadowfell, we'll move on to something else. So I might even add another stream where I do a 5th edition game too. I'm thinking about doing that. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we'll do tonight and we'll get through this one, and then it'll be a couple weeks and we'll pick it up from there. So right now, as it stands with our party, we're several encounters into Keep on the Shadowfell at this point. We had the party arrived at Winterhaven, and they were actually attacked on the way into Winterhaven, but then got to Winterhaven and did conversations. We did some role playing with the folks in town and learned about some stuff going on with kobolds and some other issues going on. So it got a few quests from that. There were rumors about things happening at the keep. At one point, the mayor hired them to go and deal with all these kobolds that are causing problems and provided them with a map to the Kobold Lair. And so the party set out to find the Kobold Lair and deal with it. We got ambushed on the way out of town. And then next time we dealt with the the kobolds outside of the lair. And that was last week, took care of them. And so this week we are now all set to actually head into the lair and finish off these kobolds once and for all, or get finished off in the process. So we'll see how it goes. So that is the plan for today, is to get into this kobold lair and deal with this. So hey Bill, welcome. Glad to have you here. We picked this up. This is our 4th session, I believe, that we started playing this. So this one is just going through Keep on the Shadowfell, and we're just going encounter by encounter. A little different. It is just a solo playthrough, but using the chat to help along with what we want the characters to do. So that's kind of our approach here. It's a little bit more of almost a demo / playthrough of the game. So we're just kind of keeping it informal. If anybody is interested in getting the character sheets for this, they're part of the Keep on the Shadowfell module, which you can get from DriveThruRPG for free. It is free along with the quick start rules, so there's no cost to it. And we are using the character sheets directly out of that module. I made only one change to them, in that our wizard is using the updated magic missile rule that auto hits, whereas the original rules it did not auto hit. So I updated that character sheet, and then I added in the tokens for the characters, as well as updated a couple of the images. So if you want the character sheets that I'll actually be showing on the screen here, those are off on my website and you can download them from there. If you want the ones from the Keep on the Shadowfell, that module is from DriveThruRPG. In either case, all those links are down in the description. So if you want either way that you want to go with it, you can get those links down in the description. So hey, Mayan, welcome. Glad to have you back again. So that's where we are. I think let's jump into it. I think this is going to be a pretty intense battle. So, and it could take a while for us to get through it. So I do want to get started right away. Before we do that, promo, if you enjoy these, please do like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and I do have a newsletter that I do add additional content during the week for. So I pretty much do these streams once a week, but the newsletter is where I'm starting to do more and more content out there. So if you want that, go check that out. Link down in the description. If you want to help the channel out in other ways, all that stuff is down in the description as well. So please do check that out if you are interested. With that, let's jump into this encounter and see how this goes. Hey, Sean, welcome. Yes, strategy. Thank you. We will need a lot of strategy. I'm hoping to get a lot of input from everybody today on what we want these characters to do, because there is a lot of folks that we have to face in this lair here. So let me flip over. We'll take a look at the encounter first. This is encounter A3 from Keep on the Shadowfell, and you can see we've got 5 different monster stat blocks that we're going to be dealing with. But there's 10 minions, 3 skirmishers, 2 dragon shields, a worm priest, and Iron Tooth, who is the boss monster. He will come into play here towards the end. This one is going to hit in a couple different waves. So we'll play it through it with the first wave, and then a few of the different monsters will come in after a few rounds. There's not a lot of tactics with this one. I was looking through the tactics. Really, the only tactic that it has is that there's 2 waves. And so once you get through a few rounds, you bring in the rest of the monsters to fight. And then it just makes a mention that Iron Tooth will try to do some flanking with the dragon shield. So we'll keep that in mind as I'm playing with the monsters to try to move them into flanking positions along with those dragon shields. Not much else as far as tactics in here, and the features of the area, all it says is bright light. So not really a lot to go on in this one. I think we're pretty much just gonna roll with it, and we'll see how it goes. Now, if I was actually playing this, you can see the map there in the lower right corner, and you can see where all the tokens are going to be. If I was actually playing this for real, and I almost did it for this, but I didn't, I would have put up the Fog of War. And let me flip over to the Roll20 screen. So I originally had the Fog of War up, where essentially the only minion that you could see was that minion number 1 there. Everything else was blocked because of the walls and everything. So that's how I would have played it out if we were sitting at a table or playing virtually. But because we're not really doing that, and I want to be mindful of that, the way we're playing here, it's a little harder to do some of those things. So I'm trying to balance keeping it simple with getting a good experience with it. So I just went ahead and removed the Fog of War, so you can see all the tokens and where they are. And then if you look, the whole map is here, and we go all the way up. So that token up there at the top with the heart is Iron Tooth. So he is ultimately the boss monster sitting on his little treasure hoard up there. But you can see we've got a lot of creatures to deal with here. So, but we'll kind of approach it as though there was a Fog of War, so that we can only deal with the creatures that would actually be in our line of sight. But I wanted to present it to everyone as such. I do have we have a wizard. So Alara is our wizard, and as always, she has a daily spell that she has to prepare. So let me flip back over here, and we'll go to Alara. Where is she? There she is. So she has a daily spell. Her choices are either Acid Arrow or Sleep. So if anybody has any thoughts of which daily power they would like her to prepare, let us know in the chat, and I'll make a note of that so that when it gets to her turn, we can use if we want to use one of those, we have the right one. So, but I'd like to settle that before we actually get into it. So Acid Arrow or Sleep, let me know which one you think would be better. In fact, why don't we go ahead and do it this way? This is how I usually do it, and I didn't actually get it set up before the stream today, so we'll do it right now, and boom, there we go. Now we have a poll out there, so if you want to just put your vote in the poll, that'll probably make it easiest for everybody. So cool. All right. So 3 rounds later, I think, does it specifically say after 3 rounds? It just, 3 rounds later. I am interpreting that to mean after the 3rd round. So we will go through 3 rounds of the encounter, and then at the start of the 4th round, I will bring in those other monsters for us. And with that, I think we are good. It's interesting because we've had our Alara, our wizard, for from the beginning, and I've had to ask the question each time of which spell do we want to prepare for her. And I always felt Acid Arrow was a better spell, but I think overwhelmingly every single week the winner is Sleep. So which is interesting, and I mean it's a good spell. I don't know, for whatever reason that surprises me, but. Cool. Looks like that one's going to win. So we'll let that sit for a minute and we'll see how it goes. Oh, so the good point. So dragon shields resist acid. So so is that, do they have resist 5 acid? Okay. See, I didn't even notice that. So that's a good point. So that would probably explain why for the last few weeks people have been choosing sleep, because they're paying a lot more attention to that than I am. So, but good deal. All right. So unless that changes, we will go with that. And it actually is Alara's turn. I did roll initiative before we started, so just to try to save having to do all those dice rolls here, I went ahead and rolled initiative for all of the creatures and characters right at the beginning, and I also rolled initiative for the creatures that will be joining starting in round 4, and I'll just add those into the mix once we get to that point. So, but just kind of trying to save some of those dice rolls. So, on average, how many hits does a hero usually take to take down? So, I guess the question, are we asked how many hits can the hero get before they are knocked unconscious? Last week we had Lyra got the closest to being knocked unconscious, and she took 4 hits from a minion, actually, who got decent damage on each one. So, well, actually the minions they have flat damage. It's just 4 damage. So, she took 4 hits, did not quite get knocked unconscious, but was pretty close. If that was not a minion and actually had rolled damage, I could see her probably having been knocked unconscious. So using that as the guideline, I would say we're probably looking at about 4 or maybe 5 hits with some decent damage would take a character out. Now, she has 25 hit points. Haldor is our fighter. He's got 31, so he's a little bit higher, but that's probably about what you're looking at. So yeah, Keldrick's got acid breath. Oh, yeah, we can use that on the minions, the dragon shields with that resistance. That won't help. Magic missile seems to be the go-to thing for Alara. So we'll do that, I think, and that's probably where we'll start. So it is Alara's turn, and she is in the back here, so she's going to need to get into line of sight in order to deal that damage. Does she? It just says one creature. It doesn't say she has to see the creature. It just says one creature. So, interesting. And yeah, I don't see anything with Magic Missile that says she has to actually see the creature. So, I'm thinking that she can just kind of move over, and we'll go ahead and move her down into this spot here. And then she will use Magic Missile on minion number 1. And because it auto hits, and these are just minions, just like that, we have dealt with our first minion. So, and I'm throwing stuff on the floor here. Hang on. All right. So our first minion is done. And that, I think, is probably it for Alara's turn. That was a standard action, and she did move a little bit, so I think we're good there. Next up in our initiative order is going to be Lyra. So Lyra is our rogue. Lyra got into a little bit of a bind last week because she ran right out into the fray to take on a minion. And then she kind of regretted that at the end of the round. And then because at the start of the next round, all those minions that were nearby came running over and just started pounding. So that luckily she didn't get knocked unconscious. She managed to, there was one miss, and I think, or 2 of them missed. And then a couple of them were out of range. They couldn't get close enough. But, so I think she's going to have learned her lesson from that last week, and she will, she's not going to be so keen about getting into exposing herself like that. So I'm just curious. She could probably get over to like this square here, and just kind of take on number 2 without getting too far into the mix with some of the other ones. So let me do that. So if we move, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So we'll move her. I'll do her here, there, 3, 4, 5. Now, as I mentioned in my newsletter article from yesterday, opportunity attacks are a little different in 4th edition because unlike in the other ones, other games like 5th edition and 3rd edition, where you get an opportunity attack if you move out of a target's reach, in 4th edition, you give up an opportunity attack if you move out of a threatened square. So even if I move into another square that's threatened, it still gives up an opportunity attack. So Lyra is currently in a threatened square, and if she moves into that square or into this square over here, she would still give up an opportunity attack. So that's why it has the shift move that you can do. So 5th edition doesn't have that. I think I mentioned that 3rd edition was different. Sorry. 4th edition, 3rd edition, Pathfinder, they have this approach where it's just moving out of a threatened square causes an opportunity attack, whereas 5th edition, you have to actually move out of the threatened area, out of the target's reach, which is a little different. So anyway, so with that said, I'm kind of rambling a little bit. This is where Lyra's going to go. And with her in that position, let's just take a glance and see what we want to do. Our go-to thing has been Sly Flourish as her normal attack. And so Deft Strike allows her to move 2 squares, but I don't think that would allow her to move those 2 squares without, I think she'd still give up an opportunity attack if she moved, because it's not a shift, it's just a move. So I think we'll just go ahead with Sly Flourish, and we'll do that. So that's going to be a +8 versus armor class. So Sly Flourish +8 versus armor class. Let's go ahead and roll it. Our first roll of the evening, 17 + 8 is, by my count, that's a 25 against the minion's armor class, which just to bring that up here for confirmation, the armor class is a 15, so quite handily took care of that. And so with that, Lyra has dealt with this minion as well. As we go through these, I may start just clearing the board and taking those minion tokens off the board just to keep it clean, because that was kind of a challenge last week. Board got a little cluttered. So Resna, I see your question. So excuse me. How to convince a 5th edition audience to play 4th edition. Can you reduce the hit points in 4th edition without it feeling like Rocket Tag? So, so I'm hoping someone else chimes in maybe with their thoughts on that. So, I know that I've reduced the hit points on like monsters, because I do feel that some of the monsters have too many hit points. I don't know that there's too many hit points on the heroes. I feel like they're based on the damage that's being dealt in 4th edition from the monsters. I think the hit points are pretty good. I mean, we've like I said, Lyra took 4 hits, and she probably would have been unconscious if it wasn't a minion doing the attack. But so that's probably about normal, and I think that's fairly typical. So they may have, I know in 4th edition they have more hit points to start with, but the monsters are dealing more damage as well. So it really kind of evens out. I have reduced the hit points of the monsters simply to kind of reduce the time of some of the encounters. That's the only thing I've done, but I haven't done it on the character side. So, all right, that is Lyra has done a move. Lyra has done an attack, and it is Haldor's turn. And thank you, Sean, for some input there. Haldor should attack the skirmisher and block that opening. Oh, that's a good point. So, all right, well, let's do that. So Haldor has a speed of 6. Well, let's take a look at Haldor's sheet first, just to figure out what he's actually going to do. So that is. Haldor has cleave. Sorry. Let me put the map up over here so we can see that too. There we go. So Haldor has cleave. So he can't. He'd give up an opportunity attack if he moved actually into that opening, but he can still block it by going there. And and he wouldn't be able, he'd have to move twice really to get into, to be able to do cleave. So I don't think that's going to do much for him. The Reaping Strike might be a good one because it does deal some damage on a miss. So I think that's a good starting point. I think we can get him in position, and then he can just do Reaping Strike, and then maybe next time around he would shift and try to do a cleave as appropriate. So so why don't we go ahead and do that? We'll do Reaping Strike here. So we'll flip back over here. So Haldor with his speed of 6, I believe. Speed of 5, sorry. Can he get there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can just get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he actually couldn't have gone any further than that anyway. Then he is going to do Reaping Strike, which is going to be a +6 versus the armor class of 15. Sorry for the skirmisher. The armor class is still 15. Yep. So 16 plus 5 is 21 versus the 15 of armor class. So that is definitely going to be a hit on our skirmisher. And the Reaping Strike is going to do 2d6 plus 3 damage. So 7 plus 3, that'll be 10 points of damage on skirmisher number 1. That's a pretty nice hit. And as desired, Haldor is now also blocking this. So if anybody wants to try to come through and get into this area here, they're going to have to, they would be giving up an opportunity attack to pass through. So that's a nice bonus of that as well. And let's see, moved and attacked, and I think that's it for Haldor. So we are at the skirmisher. Now it's the skirmisher's turn. All right, let's get to see what the skirmisher can do. There wasn't really any tactics provided for the other characters. It was just Iron Tooth and the Dragon Shields trying to flank. Skirmisher gets a bonus if there's an ally, which we don't have. They can shift 1 square as a minor action. I don't really see any benefit of shifting, so and there's not really any traps in play, and then it deals some extra damage if it has combat. So there's really nothing special with the skirmisher that's going to come into play at this point. So really it's just a spear. It's going to be a +6 versus armor class, and that'll do 1d8 damage if it hits. And yeah, because there's no adjacent. So 1d6 versus armor class. Let's see how it goes. No movement. We'll just go right with the roll. Oops, sorry. Wrong dice. Let's try that again. There we go. 17 plus 6 is going to be 23. Haldor's armor class is a 17, so that is going to hit Haldor. And then the damage on that one is going to be 1d8. 2. No extra damage, so just 2 damage for Haldor there, so not too bad. And did it update? It did. So Haldor is now at 29 hit points, our first damage for the party here, but not too bad. And there is another skirmisher, so that is the one skirmisher. There is another one, and I think it's probably logical that skirmisher would try to move. The movement on a skirmisher is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. He could actually. I think he's going to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Now this one will get the bonus because he's going to be adjacent to an ally. Now they are, well, they're not really blocking because the minions can pass through their squares, but but he is going to do the same attack here. So we're going to do the spear, but now he gets the mob attack because it's a +1 bonus to the attack for any ally adjacent to the target. So since skirmisher number 1 is also adjacent to Haldor, It's going to be a +1 bonus. So instead of a +6, it'll be a +7 versus armor class. So let's go ahead and roll that. 8 + 7 is 15. Haldor's armor class, though, is a 17, so that is actually going to miss. And so no joy there for the second skirmisher. All right. Moving along here, we've got Therian. Therian is our cleric, and he is up next. So let me just pause and see if anybody's got any thoughts on Therian. We only have one person that has taken any damage. That's Haldor, and it's only been 2 points of damage. So there's not really a need for much healing. I don't think anybody's going to want to really spend a healing surge at this point. So let me pull up Therian's sheet, and we'll have a look and see what it is we want Therian to do. For reference, Therian is all the way back here. So he has a long way to go if he wants to get... I don't think he's going to want to get into the fray anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he could get as far as here to get line of sight on some of the enemies. And I'm thinking, Lance of Faith is the go-to. And then he can grant a bonus on the next attack against that same target. So that would probably be the one. We don't have anyone that needs to make a saving throw. And we could do temporary hit points from Sacred Flame, but I don't think we necessarily need to. So I think Lance of Faith, and I see we've got a vote for Lance of Faith from Sean in the chat. So we will go with that. So Therian is going to move forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he'll still stay a little bit to the outside edge. Sorry, I shouldn't move the map there. So Therian will go over there, and then is going to do Lance of Faith, which is against, we'll do skirmisher number 1, who is right there. And it'll be 1d8, +3 versus reflex. So the reflex of the skirmisher is 14. So +3 versus 14. Let's have a go at it. 8 + 3 is only an 11. That is not going to get it done. So, since that is a miss, Therian's speed is, you're right, Therian's speed is 5 squares. Sorry. I'm going to start removing some of these dead minions here, so we'll go ahead and move that guy down there. Therian actually would be there. So, but he missed on his Lance of Faith attack, so nothing else doing there. So he'll end his turn in that spot, having missed, and we'll move on to Keldrek. Keldrek is our paladin, our dragonborn paladin. And he is currently stationed back here. So let's pull him up and have a look. And let's see what we want to do. Yeah, thanks, Resonant. I appreciate it. When I'm playing solo like this and I'm doing all the monsters and all the characters, I am notorious for losing track of some of the simplest things. So it's like every single creature out here has a speed of 6, but then there's the one that doesn't, and so I forget about that. So keep me honest. Don't hesitate to do so in the chat. Depending on when we notice that I made a mistake, I will either just ignore it and we'll just move forward. Anyway, if we catch it early enough, then I will correct it on the fly. So, but definitely don't hesitate to let me know when I've done something wrong. So I appreciate it. All right, Keldrek. So charge. We want to do a charge. So he has a speed. Now I'm going to double check everyone's speed. So Keldrek also only has a speed of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He can't actually get next to anyone. I can't see anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4. with a speed of just 5, he cannot get adjacent to anyone to do a melee attack. Bull rush. Okay, hang on. Let's have a look and see. Oh, so you have to be adjacent to them already. So that would come into play more if once he's already adjacent to the target. But he is currently all the way back here, and he would have to. Oh, so charge does. See, I think I had that problem last time too. So charge is 2 squares of movement in addition to your movement. I think I fell into that same trap last week, and I didn't do a charge when I could have. And apparently I don't learn my lessons from week to week. So charge. I don't think the charge would work, because move your speed as part of the charge and make a base melee attack at the end of your move. That's an interesting one. I'm questioning the interpretation of that. I read it, and to me, it's you move, and if you move at least 2 squares, then you can do a charge, and you get the bonus to the attack. But it could also be read that you move, but then you also get to move your speed again as part of the charge. Is that how everyone else is reading it? Because I was reading it differently. Okay, so yeah, move, standard action, and you get to move your speed again as part of the charge. All right, hey, I'm good with that. I've been reading it differently all this time, but I am okay with doing that. So that's going to give us a +1 to our attack. Is that just a basic attack, or is that a... Yeah, basic attack or a bull rush. So, okay, well then a bull rush. I think I'd rather do the charge and just do a regular basic attack, as opposed to pushing. So that's going to be a bonus of +1. And then we'll do just the basic attack. So +1 on our basic attack is a long sword, so that'll be a +8. So it'll be +8 versus armor class, and the skirmisher's armor class is 15. So +8 versus 15. Let's go ahead and do it. We'll do the move. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's got to move 2 squares to do the charge. So 1, 2, we're kind of going to go roundabout there. And then it'll be +8 versus 15. Let's go ahead and roll it. There we go. That's how you do that. So 26 versus 15, that will be a hit. The damage is going to be 1d8 +4. Oh, nice. Again. So 8 +4, that is going to be 12 points of damage against that skirmisher. That skirmisher is definitely bloodied right now. So that skirmisher's not feeling very good at all. I'll go ahead and put a mark on that one just so we have it. I don't know if we'll be able to see that mark, but it's kind of hard to see. But there we go. So now we've got our nice wall of defense here. between Haldor and Keldrek, blocking that entrance there. And we've got one of the skirmishers even almost taken care of. So we are in good shape. And that is the end of round 1. Now I need to make sure I don't fall into the same trap I did last week. I cleared the board and I got rid of the minion. And when I did that, it took the minion off the initiative loop. And so I didn't mean to do that. So I need to put that one back there. So we'll just try to avoid my same mistakes. I'm gonna move the dead minion over there, and we'll put Therian back in his spot. So sorry, a little bit of updating on the positioning just to make sure we keep our initiative order and everything. So all right, so we've got our choke point. Start of the second round. The minions are the first ones to go here. So let's pull them up and have a look. They have a javelin, and they're gonna and they are small, so technically they could move into. I feel like the minions we're gonna kind of accumulate on the other side of these skirmishers. I think a couple of them that are on the far side. So, you know, if we look here, there's a couple more that are farther up. And I think that those ones in the back will probably circle around and start trying to make their way around through this other area over here. And then these in the lower part here are going to try to move and take up positions to be ready to deal with everyone once the skirmishers. They'll fire their javelins from back here while the other ones move around. So that's my take on this, I think, from a strategy perspective. So let's go with that. So 1 and 2 are gone. So 3 is going to move back here. I don't feel that they would be throwing their javelin very well right from behind the skirmisher. So we're going to have a lot of javelin throws right now. These are both going to go against Haldor and Keldrek. So as I do them, I'll just call out which one they're going to go against. Let me have a look here. Armor class, Haldor is a 17, Keldrek is a 20. So the javelin is +5 versus armor class. Oh yeah, that's what I'll do. Once I get to those, I'll deal with I think the 3 through 6 here will do the javelins, and then 7, 8, 9, and 10, I'll have them do a double move to get around. So, and we'll see how that goes. All right, so number 3, javelin +5 versus, and we'll do, I guess we'll do odds and evens. So Keldrek, 3 and 5 will attack Keldrek. 4 and 6 are going to go after Haldor. So Keldrek +5 versus Keldrek, who has a 20 armor class. +5. 7 +5 is not going to get it done, so that one is going to miss. And now number 5 is also going to go after Keldrek. +5 is a 9 versus his armor class of 20, so that's not going to get it done either. And then I think 4 is going to need to move. So I'm just going to put, I'll put 4 all the way over here actually. And I'll go ahead and I'll just move 6 while I'm at it. So that puts them in position. So 4 is going to go after Haldor, also +5, but now it's versus 17. Haldor's armor class is 17. 8 +5 is 13, not enough. Well, so we are doing quite well so far, but that's probably where I'm going to jinx it. Nope, 7 +5 is going to be 12. So all 4 of those minions missed in their attacks. So they're not so adept with the javelins, it would seem. The rest of these minions are going to do a double move, and so their speed is 6, and so we'll go ahead and move them as close as they can get. So, oops, let me do that here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, but he used all his movement to get, to get into position, and therefore not enough to actually make an attack. So now 7, he's not going to be able to get as close though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, they are all now in position where they can start doing some stuff. Next round, though, they won't have anything. They've used up both their move action and their standard action, so there's not anything else left for them to do in this round. All right, so... And so that's it for the kobolds. And now we're to Alara with her magic missile. So she can actually take out this one that got closest right here. So let's see. Magic missile is going to do 2 plus her intelligence modifier, which is, where is her intelligence modifier? I'm not finding her intelligence modifier. Oh, there it is. Sheesh. +4. So that's going to do 6 damage. So I think from where she is... oh, yeah, you're right. It is flanking. Yep, with number 2. So, all right. Well, then she's just going to go right here. She's going to move 1 spot, and she's going to do magic missile on this guy right here, and that'll take care of that minion and deal with the flanking situation. So... boom, magic missile, done. So no more flanking, just like that. All right, so that is pretty much it for her. And now we get Lair, and we got to wonder how crazy does Lair want to get? Because she can move over here and start attacking these minions, but that kind of puts her out in the middle of the fray where she might not want to be. If she moves up here, there's a wall there, and I think based on the cover rules, reaching around the wall to attack would at least have a penalty to it. So I don't know that that's going to be the right option for her. But she could move here, but then she's going to have a couple minions around her. Let's see what she's got though. Oh, there you go. That's what I was going to check to see if she's got any ranged weapons. So, so let's flip over. We'll just have a look. So Sly Flourished with a dagger, would do it. And, yeah, she doesn't really need to do anything else. So yeah, we'll keep it simple. She could stay right where she's at and do Sly Flourish on number, well, what's number 0? So let's go for it. All right, cool. So that's going to be +8 versus the armor class of 15. So +8 versus 15 is what we are after here. Oh, nice. 13 + 8 is 21 versus 15. That is going to hit, and I don't need to roll the damage because we are talking about a minion, so that takes care of that one. So that was pretty successful. Now she could move still, but I think I'm actually going to move her down here just to get her a little closer. If she decides to move somewhere else, she can. She's a little closer to it. All right, so that is done with... sorry, I kept the minion up on the screen there. That is Lyra, and we are at Haldor. All right, Haldor Oh. Haldor Cleave. Sweet. All right. Because skirmisher number 1 is almost done. But Haldor was going to go after, he'll go after number 2 first, and then hopefully cleave into number 1 to deal some extra damage. So I think that probably makes the most sense for Haldor. So let's do that. So that is going to be, cleave is a +6 versus armor class of 15. So let's see how he does. 12 plus 6 is 18. There we go. 18 on number 2. That is a hit. So 2d6 plus 3 damage. Six damage on number 2. That's just okay. Skirmisher 1 then gets 3 damage, which is not quite enough to take him out of the fight. But he's pretty much on the edge there. So that is Haldor, and obviously Haldor does not need to move at all. So, and then it is the skirmisher's turn. So they're each going to get a shot here. They don't need to move. Now they will each have a +1 bonus because there is a target adjacent. So, and they're just going to jab with their spear. So +6 versus armor class. And they'll just attack the one in front of them. So number 1 will do Keldrek, which is going to be a +7 versus Keldrek's armor class of 20. So +7 versus 20. That is going to hit. And the damage on that one is going to be 1d8. Five damage. So Haldor's got Keldrek now has 5 damage. So that drops him down to that. There we go. And then the other skirmisher is going to go after Haldor. Haldor has an armor class of 17. And so this is going to be a +7 versus 17. Also a hit. 1d8. 6 damage for Haldor. So now he is, I mean, he's still doing okay, but a little bit of extra damage there. So, all right. So that's our 2 skirmishers. No need to move. They've done their part. And let's move it along to Therian. All right. So Therian now, we have someone who could benefit from a healing surge. Haldor could use a healing surge. So that might be something that he wants to do. Because healing word is well, that's just an encounter power. I don't think we want to waste an encounter power just yet. So, I don't think that Therian is going to do. I don't think he's ready to use healing word just yet. I don't think it's that dire. I think he's going to need that later. So, he's going to keep that in his pocket. And I think maybe it's just Lance of Faith again. That's what so we're just going with Lance of Faith. So Therian, Lance of Faith on number 1. And that's going to be +3 versus reflex. The reflex is 14. So +3 versus 14. That'll be a 19, so that's going to hit, and then we're going to do 1d8 +3 damage, which is plenty because that skirmisher did not actually even have that many hit points left. So, so skirmisher number 1 is done. Lance of Faith would have granted a bonus to somebody that was going to attack that skirmisher, but since that skirmisher is done, there's no reason to, no use for that anymore. So yeah, Sean, that's where he gets to use it twice, but I know what's coming in this battle, and I looked ahead, and so there's a little bit of metagaming that I know. I feel like Haldor he's only down by 8 hit points. He gets 7 with a surge, and but I feel like later on he's going to really be needing it, and and someone else might need it even more. So it's probably better to hang on to it. So that's my thought anyway. All right, so that was Therian. Now we are at Keldrek. Keldrek does not have a skirmisher in front of him anymore, so he will attack skirmisher number 2. And I think so he'll do Valiant Strike, because then he can add the +1 for the enemy. So Valiant Strike for Keldrek, it'll be a +7 versus 15, or excuse me, it'll be a +8 versus 15 to go against skirmish number 2. Oof, it's going to be a 14. So just misses. Oh, that's unfortunate, man. Okay, so not much we can do there. So Keldrek did not. No success there. All right, we are at round 3. So at the end of this round, all of those other monsters are going to start coming into the fray here. So, but right now we've got some minions to deal with. I'm going to do the same as before. 3 and, or well, I guess not this exactly same. 3 and 4 are going to go after Keldrek. 5 and 6 will go after Haldor. Yeah, Irontooth is not a monster to be trifled with. His armor class is just okay, but that's a lot. He's got a lot of hit points that we got to deal with, so he's going to be around for a while, and he's got some other actions too. So I just I know that we want to be ready for that. So all right, 3 and 4 are going after Keldrek. Let me pull up the minion just so we can get a peek here. The Javelin is a +5 versus armor class. So +5 for Keldrek, that's going to be +5 versus 20. So let's see how we make out. Number 3 attacking Keldrek. Nope. Nothing doing there. I suppose if I was going to get fancy, I could do something with a critical fail on it, but we'll just go with it. Oh, that one got lucky. So that one is definitely going to hit. So Keldrek will take some damage on that one. I think it's just a 4. Yeah, so Keldrek will take 4 damage there. All right. Then number 5 is going to go after Haldor. So then now we're talking +5 versus 17. +5. That is 18, so that will hit. I'm going to go ahead and roll the attack for number 6 as well. See if they hit. And that one will hit. So we got 2 hits. So they each deal 4 damage. That is 8 damage on Haldor. So no sooner do I say that Haldor will be just fine, he doesn't need any healing, than now he needs some healing. So that's going to bring him down to 15, and he is now bloodied. So Haldor definitely could use some healing now. So, but I don't know. We'll see how we go. So that's those minions there. And then we've got 2 more. We got 7 and 9, and I think they're going to move. 7 will go right there, and we'll use their what do they have? A short sword, a spear. Sorry, spear. Also +5 versus armor class. So +5 versus the 20. Nope, not going to hit. And then number 9 will move into the spot previously occupied by 8, but I will go ahead and move 8 off the board. And we'll put 9 in that spot instead. And then also +5 versus 20. Ooh, that one will hit. And that's going to be 4 damage on Keldrek, which takes Keldrek down to 14. Not quite bloodied, but as close as you can be without actually being bloodied. So And there we go. That's our minions. And Alara now is, she's got her sights set on another minion. So we'll have her dole out magic missile to this one, because this one is now flanking again. We got another one flanking with Keldrek. So magic missile on that one, and that'll take out that minion. So Alara is just kind of sitting in the back, just throwing magic missiles everywhere, which I guess is about what wizards normally do, right? So all right, there we go. So that's Alara. Not much doing there. Okay, now we're at Lyra. So let me pause for a second. Sorry, I might have missed a couple of the chats. So oh yeah, so we'll sorry, I did see that. Yeah, so we'll save those second wins and our action points. I think we're going to need all those things later on, so I don't want to spend any of that stuff that we don't have to right now. All right, Lyra is definitely in a point where she can now easily go and take on this other minion. So let's see what she got. I think she won't have combat advantage because she'd have to give up an opportunity attack and everything to get into a position for that. So so she won't be able to do sneak attack. And oh, she does get a bonus on her armor class against opportunity attack. So that's something to keep in mind. We might use that later on. So I think we'll just move Lyra up to here, and she'll just go ahead and do a sly flourish on number 7. It seems like the logical thing for her to do. So 8 plus 8. Oh, that's going to be a 16 versus the armor class of 15. So cool. That actually worked. That was a little closer than I was hoping, but it worked. So there we go. So that is those minions. We've still got our wall in place here for those other ones. And I think we're in a pretty good position to actually start moving over next round. When these other monsters start coming into the fray, we can start attacking them because we won't have the minions in our way anymore. So good deal. All right, let's see what Haldor can do. If maybe well, it's gonna be a tall order. He won't be able. I don't think he'll be able to finish off even with a good roll here. But so Haldor, Reaping Strike. So that was just going to do damage on a miss. Cleave doesn't really add anything. So I guess Reaping Strike is for Haldor. So just because it'll do damage on a miss also. So let's go ahead and do that one on Skirmisher number 2. And that is going to... man, 13 versus a 15 armor class. Nothing doing there. Yeah, not seeing anything. Not seeing anything else we could salvage from that. So just swing and a miss from Haldor on our Skirmisher. And now the Skirmisher, having seen this Haldor come up empty, is maybe feeling a little emboldened here. Doesn't get the bonus for mob attack because his buddy is no longer there. I don't necessarily see that there'd be an advantage of doing a shift. So I think he's just going to do a straight spear plus 6 versus Haldor's armor class of 17. Doesn't have to get more complicated than that, but I'm going to miss. So that's only going to be a 9 against a 17. So no doing there. Oh, good boy. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. It does take 3 on the miss. Let me make a note of there. See, I like had just said it and then I still forgot. So, okay, we're good. I got that noted. All right. And the Skirmisher missed on their attack. So no luck there. All right. Now Therian, I think, needs to do some healing. So this might be the time when we do healing word. So it'll be, if he does, because the Haldor is definitely bloodied. Haldor and Keldrick are really about in the same spot. Haldor is maybe just a little worse because he is bloodied. So I think Healing Word, and it'll be a Healing Surge plus 1d6. So Haldor is going to then spend a Healing Surge. Update my notes here. Which will get him back to 22 hit points, so he's no longer bloodied. And and he's got to roll 1d6. Oh man, I'll tell you. All right, well that'll get him back to 24 anyway. Not great, but at least not bloodied anymore. So that's a little something. And then that is a minor action. So I make a note that he used Healing Word. And that is only a minor action, so he still has a regular action, standard action that he can take. And I think this is where Sacred Flame will come in, because we could grant someone some temporary hit points. So, oh, see, it's interesting. Yeah, you're right. It does add 3. I was thinking, so that's another 3. Okay, well, let me update that. For most of the other powers on here, it indicates that they already included it in that. So I don't know why they didn't include it in there. So, but that's okay. So, thank you. Nice catch. So now Haldor is actually at 27. So, yeah, thank you. Sean is staying on top of me, keeping me honest. All right, and then so then Therian, as a standard action, he's going to do Sacred Flame. It is ranged, 1 creature, +3 versus reflex. It'll deal radiant damage, but then he's going to grant temporary hit points, which will be helpful for Keldrick, because he wasn't able to heal Keldrick, but that'll give some temporary hit points at least to provide a little something there. So +3 versus the reflex on the Skirmisher is a 14, so +3 versus 14. Oh, man. So that's only a 6. So sorry, Sacred Flame not going to do anything. Man, just when you think you've got a plan, it doesn't work. So hey, I'm glad you've got the character sheet, Sean. It helps a lot to have somebody else out there, watching the details, because it's a lot to keep track of. So as many eyes as we can have on everything is good. It's definitely a little different from if we actually had a table with, 6 different people paying attention to all the details. So it's a lot to juggle. All right, so Therian was able to heal, but couldn't get it done with the Sacred Flame, so that is fine. But now it is Keldrick's turn, and let's see if Keldrick can do something here. So Divine Challenge is a minor action. So that would probably be good. That would do a -2 penalty. We should have done that earlier. I forgot about that one. So if we mark the target using Divine Challenge as a minor action and then use Holy Strike, then we can get a little extra damage if we are successful on our hit. So I think that is probably the way to go here. So Keldrick will do Divine Challenge, mark Skirmisher number 2, and then we will go ahead and do Holy Strike against Skirmisher number 2. So, and the bonus is only for the damage roll if we hit. So this is going to be +7 versus armor class of 15. Yeah. So that's a 19. That's going to hit. And so the damage is going to be an extra 1 damage. So 1d8 plus 5 is what this will be. I'll take it, but It's not great. It is bloodied, so that's something. It's so skirmisher number 2 is bloodied, and it also is marked, so it's going to have a -2 penalty on attack rolls, and it's going to take damage if it makes an attack on someone else. So make a note of that. Dragon Breath will... So he only gets that once. Minor action, so that would... I will use that. He obviously already went this time, so we'll save that for next time. But that would come in handy if he can position. I mean, that would definitely take out minions. That would have been a good opportunity to try to take out the minions. But all right, we'll circle back to that one. He'll have his chance to use his breath weapon, no doubt. So, all right, kobolds. All right, we are at the top of the 4th round now. So, and that's going to introduce these other creatures in here. So let me go ahead and add them in. And because they're going to start, oops. All right, and then get their initiatives in here. There we go. So, what happened to my kobolds? What was my kobold? I lost my kobold initiative. But they were going first, so I think were they like 28 or something like that? They were something really high. Because they go first in the round, so my minions, I mean. So, all right. There we go. That is now everybody in this initiative order. So this is where it gets serious. All that was just fooling around. So the minions are going to go first. 3 and 4 are going to go after Keldrek. 5 and 6 will go after Haldor, just like before, throwing their javelins. So that's a 5 versus 5 plus 5 is not going to get it done. Then number 4, also not going to get it done. Number 5 is going against Haldor. He's got an armor class of 17. That one will hit. And then number 6, also throwing a javelin. That one will hit. So 2 hits there. Man, he can't catch a break. He just healed back that. I guess it's good that he got that healing, because then he just took the exact same amount of damage that he had before. So that's 4 damage for each of those. And he is down to 19 hit points. So, all right, that is the minions. So that's it for them. And now we're at Alara. All right, do we want Alara to do something more now? Let me go ahead and pull up her sheet. So, because we've got these, everyone is now into the fray here. I'm going to go ahead and move these minions that we've defeated off this layer, because we're getting it's getting a little cluttered. Just to kind of clean that up a little bit. There we go. All right, so these, and I'll get rid of the skirmisher as well. So that's what we're dealing with here. Haldor is unfazed. He's taken, all that damage, and he's, yeah, whatever, bring it. So Alara here probably is going to want to try to do something. Maybe this is where, each creature in the burst for the sleep. That black token is not Iron Tooth, by the way. There's Iron Tooth is actually not in this map yet. He hasn't moved down. That is the black token is the Worm Priest. So I think maybe Alara tries to do sleep, since that's gonna do that can affect a lot of creatures, and that could come in handy. Burning Hands also can affect several creatures. Yeah. Scorching Burst also, that's just a burst 1. She has not used anything. All she's done is Magic Missile. So first 3 rounds, all she's done is Magic Missile. She has all of her power still at her disposal, for just this reason. She was just picking off the minions one by one. Now I think it's time for her to really do something that means something. So she's still got Burning Hands, which is a blast 5, which could affect a lot of creatures. That Skirmisher is still there. She has Sleep, a daily power. So that is versus the Will. So that's an option. I am open to any ideas of what we want Alara to do. I think this is where we've got a lot of stuff to think about. Burst the 3 minions together there. Okay, yeah. So Scorching, let's see. So if we did like Scorching Burst, see that is just going to be around her, so she'd have to move up there. Burst 1 within 10 squares. Okay, so that's not on herself. Okay, so she could actually, okay, got it. She could burst right there and take out all 3 of those minions and be done with it. Now, what if she did that and dealt some damage to these folks here? Do we want to? Are we more concerned about getting rid of the minions or dealing some damage to some of the new folks that are joining this? I could go either way. So Scorching Burst would do 1d6 plus 4. And we could probably hang on our sleep for just now. So I think we're definitely going to do Scorching Burst because it's still an at will, and we'll hold on to the other powers for the time being. But it's just a question of whether we want to deal with minions, or we want to deal with the other creatures. That's the only uncertainty. I'm going to move her into position, and then if anyone has thoughts on the which way to go, then we'll do that. So she's got a speed of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4. She'll just move 1, 2, 3, 4. She'll just take position behind. She can now go after the other ones, but she's got a little wall between her and the enemies. So, all right, I'm good with the minions. So she's going to launch her burst right here into this square, and then we'll see how it goes. Hopefully so this is going to be +4 versus reflex. So we got to do it for each one of them. Their reflex is 13. Yeah, so +4 versus 13 for each one of these. So let's have at it. +4 versus 13. Oh, that is a good one. So we got a 20 on that one. All right. So I'll make a note of that. So let me go ahead and roll the damage. So 1d6. So that's going to be a 6 + 4. That's going to be, it's a minion. I got all excited there, but it's just a minion. So, all right. Well, that's fine. Any hit is a good hit when it's a minion. All right. 4. That's going to be 14 versus reflex of, I think the reflex was Oh, it was just 13, so we're good. That's going to hit that one. And then number 5, 4, and we are also good there. So, all right, that could not have gone any better. She took out all 3 of those minions with that. So, perfect. So, all right, so we are down to just a single minion and then all of the other creatures. And then, oh, by the way, there's all the other creatures in this fight. So we'll see how this goes. So that is Alara. She did her move. She did her Scorching Burst. And now we're at our Worm Priest. So let's have a look at the Worm Priest here. Spear, but only as a melee weapon. Has an energy orb that does 1d10 damage. A minor action for Incite Faith. Kobold allies in the area gain 10 temporary hit points and can shift 1 square. And then she has Dragon Breath. So 1d10 plus 3 fire damage and then deals half damage, and she can shift. So she's got a few things in her. I think we're going to start with the energy orb. We're going to keep this thing simple. She's got Keldrick right in her line of sight there. So that is going to be a +6 versus his reflex. So his reflex is 12. Ooh. So +6 versus 12. I've committed to it, so that's the way I'm going to go, even though this might not go well for him. So we'll see. +6 versus 12 for the energy orb. Yeah. Okay. So 1d10 plus 3 fire damage. So that'll be 8 damage for Keldrick. So Keldrick is now in need of some healing. He is down to 6 hit points. That is it for the Worm Priest. I don't think that she is going to do anything else. So yeah, so now we're to Lyra. And I think Lyra, maybe this is where Lyra starts to... Lyra's going to need to run some interference for Keldrick at this point, because Keldrick is needing some healing. She recognizes that, and I think she's going to go after maybe the Dragon Shield. So... probably with... She won't have combat advantage, but I think she'll just go right up to that first Dragon Shield and try to take it out. So let's do that. All right. So just speed of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Sly Flourish is a +8 versus 18. Oof. No. That is going to miss. That is only a 14. She needed an 18. So this is where things can start getting very bad. So she moved and she took her attack and failed. And now it is the Dragon Shield's turn. Oh boy. I didn't plan that at all. It could have gone well, but it didn't. All right. Short sword. They have mob attack, so they get a +1 on their attacks, but they don't have anybody adjacent. And then I really want to save all of the extra stuff that I can. I keep thinking about it. I keep looking at these encounter and these daily powers, and I until it's necessary, I think we want to save our second wins and our action points, because I just know what's coming. I know Iron Tooth is still out there. So we'll see. We may not have a choice soon, but we'll see. So I think this Dragon Shield, just a straight short sword, which will mark the target as well. So at +7 versus armor class. Lyra's armor class is a 16, so +7 versus 16. Let's see how the Dragon Shield makes out. Yeah, that's going to hit. And then 1d6 plus 3. That is going to be 5 damage on Lyra. Oh, man. So 5 damage for Lyra. Get that updated. I need to reopen something here. Close to Laura. There we go. Okay. And then we have our other Dragon Shield, who, since the Dragon Shield tactics indicate that they try to get into flanking with Iron Tooth, I think it only seems fair that the Dragon Shield would also try to get into flanking position with, or at least try to gang up on other creatures. So I think this Dragon Shield has a speed of 6 and is going to basically go and try to attack Lyra again. 1, 2, 3. So +7 versus armor class, and Lyra is having flashbacks to last week. It's 15 versus armor class of 16. All right, well, she got lucky there, so that one missed. So, oh yeah, she did have the first strike. Yep. Oh, so another one that I missed there, but yeah, I don't think it would have made any difference either. So, all right, so she didn't do too badly, but she's not in a very good spot right now because she took a little damage, and now she has these 2 Dragon Shields right next to her. So she's going to need to next time around, she's going to need to deal with that. So, all right, and now it is Iron Tooth's turn, and we can all, as I move the map here, we will see that Iron Tooth is, was not in the picture just yet. So, and let's have a look at him. He's got a speed of 6. He got dual axes. When he doesn't move on his turn, he can do dual axe, make a basic melee attack against 2 creatures. Goblin tactics, when he's missed, he can shift a square. When he's bloodied, he gains plus 1d10. While bloodied, Iron Tooth gains plus 1d10 damage and loses the ability to use Goblin tactics. He must attack the nearest foe, charging when possible. At the end of his turn, he heals 5 hit points. So you can see why we want to hang on to all of our special abilities as much as we can. So, all right, I think Iron Tooth hears the commotion going on, and at this point is going to just double move to get into the mix as quickly as possible. So, so let's just do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so that is Iron Tooth's double move, which brings him into the battle here. And now all of the creatures are actually in view on this encounter map here. So we've got everyone in sight at least. But Iron Tooth cannot take another action on this round, so that is the end of his turn. And we are to Haldor. So Haldor is he's got 19 hit points, not quite bloodied, and he's still got this skirmisher smack dab up in his grill. I think that Reaping Strike is the logical thing, and see what he can do with this Yeah, I think Haldor is his motivation at this point in my mind is deal with this skirmisher so he can move over and try to help out Lyra as best he can. So but he's got to deal with the skirmisher, otherwise it's just going to cause more problems. So and we've got Therian coming up, so Therian might be able to do some stuff too. So all right, let's do Reaping Strike on this skirmisher number 2, and let's see how it goes. So +6 versus armor class of 15. All right, let's hope for the best. Oh, just barely. Okay, so that is a 16. That will hit. That's going to be 2d6 plus 3 damage. Oh, nice. That is 13 damage, and that is awesome, because what that means is that this skirmisher is now done. So that did just a little bit more damage than what it had remaining. So that for Haldor's perspective, that could not have gone any better. So he has defeated that skirmisher, and now he could actually move so second wind is a minor action. So I'm trying to see. So you can use your second wind as a minor action. So do we want to do his second wind now and get him healed back up? I mean, he can do a healing surge anyway. So all right, I'm good with that. I mean, he's gonna need healing at some point, and so we might as well do it now since all the enemies are here. So second wind. So healing surge and a +2 to all defenses until the start of the next turn. So all right, so Haldor will do a healing surge. That's going to give him back, get him back up to there. All right, so he's at 26, and he has a +2 to armor class. All right, so that was a standard action. That was minor action. He still has a move action. Yeah, I'm going to move to the Dragon Shield. I think that's what makes sense. So, so 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just going to go right at him. So at least that might take. Oh, sorry. Nope. He needs to move here because then he can shift and actually get into a flanking position. So that should hopefully get the Dragon Shield's attention diverted away from Lyra and come after him. Now it's likely that Iron Tooth is going to try to get into flanking with Haldor, but we'll deal with one thing at a time. I think is all we can do. All right, so that was pretty good. All right, skirmishers are all gone. So we are at Therian. Okay, let's have a look here. We're going to need some creative stuff here. All right, now is our time to start dealing with stuff. He did use Healing Word already, so he's got one more Healing Word that he can do. But he also has Healing Strike, and he's got Beacon of Hope. That's just that one. Beacon of Hope, I think we want to wait a little bit longer for that one. Healing Strike, 2d8 radiant damage, and the target is marked. And then someone can spend a healing surge. So, you know, are there 3 skirmishers? Did I miss a skirmisher? Oh crap, I did. Yes, you're right. There's a whole other skirmisher up there. I completely forgot about that one. Oh man. Okay. Well, all right. That skirmisher fell asleep. He's missing the whole battle, so I'm just going with it. I completely forgot about that one. So, and I'm not bringing him into the fray now. So we'll just call that a win based on the DM screwed up. So that's fine. But yeah, there was another skirmisher and I just completely missed it. So, all right. So healing strike, sacred. Oh, that sacred flame grants just a charisma modifier. Charisma modifier is 3. Would grant 3 hit points to Keldrek. Not great. Keldrek really does need some healing. So and really needs, I almost feel like we got to spend the healing surge on Keldrek. I think we do a healing word. So let's go ahead and use the last healing word. We're going to do it on Keldrek, get him up to full power. And then we can do some more of that. Yeah, the last skirmisher ran away. Skirmisher was like, I don't want any part of this fight. So, all right, Therian is going to use healing word on Keldrek. That'll do an extra 1d6 on top of the healing surge, so that's just a 2. God, I roll awful with these d6s for the healing. So the surge is 7 plus 2 is going to be 9 points back. That brings him up to 15. So he's not bloodied anymore, but it's not great either. So so that was just the minor action. I think he wants to do something else. I'd say let's do I vote for Sacred Flame and attack, so he can attack something, and then also grant 3 temporary hit points to Keldrek as well. Attack the. Okay, yeah, there we go. What's what's the thing that can mark? Oh, there we go. If we did healing strike, so if we do healing strike on the dragon shield, and then healing strike on the dragon shield, we can hopefully deal some damage and mark that dragon shield, which means it can attack Lyra. And then someone can get a healing surge. So that's just, we get it once per encounter, but this kind of sets us, this is like setting us up to do our big finish, if you will, here, and start, trying to turn the tables. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and move Therian. Let me switch back over here. Let's move Therian. What's the range we need here? Target 1 creature. Oh, he's got to actually melee. Ugh. Okay, I was gonna do that healing strike, but now it's a melee. I didn't realize that. That one maybe. He's got to actually go into the fray with this thing. Well, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Healer's lore. Oh, yes, you're right. I forgot that last time, didn't I? You keep yelling at me about it, and I keep forgetting. And one of these times I'll remember. Sorry about that. Yes, an extra 3. So that puts him up to 18. That's better, at least. All right. Well, I mean, I'm just going to do Sacred Flame. I'm hesitant to use Healing Strike because I really don't want Therian getting all up there next to these Dragon Shields. I think we're going to need him later with the Healing Strike and Beacon of Hope, and I'd hate for him to start taking damage. So if we do Sacred Flame on the Dragon Shield, that can grant 3 temporary hit points to Keldric as well. So I think that makes more sense. And then we save these other powers. So that's the route I'm going to go. So Sacred Flame. Yeah, we'll just do it that way. So he's going to move just up there. It's going to do Sacred Flame on number 2. And it's going to be +3 versus Reflex. Reflex is a 13. That's a +3. Okay. Whew. All right. So that's going to be a 17. That's going to hit 1d6 +3 radiant damage. Oh, nice. That's 9 radiant damage on number 2. So nice. And Keldric is going to have 3 temporary hit points. So there we go. So that puts Keldric in a pretty good spot. And I think we've done everything we can. We're getting the most out of every single character because we're taking advantage of all the things. So so now we are to Keldric. Oh, and so now it's Keldric's turn. Perfect. All right. We were going to use Dragon Breath. This is a blast 3. So let me make sure I got my area. So a blast 3. So if he moves 1, 2, 3, he can use this to get all 3. He can get both Dragon Shields and the Worm Priest. If he moves over here, he can get 1, 2, 3, 1. He can either get the 2 Dragon Shields and the Worm Priest, or he can't. He could potentially get Iron Tooth and the Worm Priest. Is what we've got here. Oh, the Dragon Shields resist acid. Well, that makes this decision easy. Thank you. All right, so Keldric then is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. He's going 1, 2, 3, 4. And then his blast from his Dragon Breath is going to be right here. And so it's going to fill all 3 of those squares, or I should say all 9 of those squares. And so this will go after Iron Tooth and the Worm Priest. It'll be +4 versus their reflex. Iron Tooth has a 16, the Worm Priest has a 15, so it's not a trivial attack, but and it's minor action. So nice. Okay, so he'll do even more than after this. So this is going to be +4 versus, we'll do the Worm Priest first, +4 versus 15. Yeah. So that is going to hit, and that is going to be 7 damage on the Worm Priest. So full round of damage on her. I keep saying her. I don't really know if it's a her, but and then Iron Tooth. This is going to be +4 versus 16 for Iron Tooth. +4 is 15. Oh, I guess that's the way that's going to go. So 15 versus the Iron Tooth's reflex was 16, so he's not going to get anything on Iron Tooth. All right, so that's the minor action, and he's done with his Dragon Breath. All right, And so let's see. All right, what do we still got a standard action. He's already done his move action. He's moved 4 places. So so let's see, what do we got that we could use? He can move. Well, he can move up to Irontooth. You know, if he moves up to Irontooth, that will hopefully keep Irontooth from being able to move and try to flank Haldor, because now Keldrick will be in the way. Yeah, it's right. I'm the DM. That's right. Yeah, it says it on the shirt. I'm literally wearing the shirt that says that. So yeah, her, Worm Priest, her. I'll give her a name in between the downtime. So if I think Keldrick, you know, Irontooth has a lot of armor class. He's got I'm thinking if we start using the oh, well, okay. Oh, we already used our minor action. We can't do a minor action. All we've got is our standard action. He can move 1. He's got 2 more squares of movement. So it's really a question of he either moves to the... Oh, no. Okay. If he moves to that dragon shield, he's flanking the dragon shield with Lyra, and he can get an advantage. And then he's adjacent. He's also adjacent to 2 enemies. All right. I got it. Here we go. Keldrick is going to move here. He's now flanking this dragon shield with Lyra, so he's got advantage. If he does Valiant Strike, he's going to get a +1 for every enemy adjacent to him. So, so now he's got 2 enemies adjacent to him. So that's going to be a +7, +2 for the 2 enemies adjacent to him is +9, +2 for combat advantage. He's got a +11 against the armor class of this dragon shield. So that's what we're doing. +11 versus the dragon shield's armor class of 18. All right, I swear, whenever I come up with a plan that I think is absolutely perfect, that happens. It was glorious, absolutely glorious, and it would have been even more spectacular had he had a firmer grip on his longsword. But it was not to be. So that was his standard actions. That was his moves. That was his minor actions. Keldrick is done. Oh, there's still a minion back there. All right. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? This is the bravest minion in the world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it is going to spear +5 versus Alara's armor class of 14. No, not going to hit. All right, so that's good. So, oops, that didn't move the right one. There we go. So, so that missed. You know, I use the digital dice because I want them to show up on the screen, but I'm not crazy about Roll20's digital dice. They don't seem to roll very nice. I mean, I know it's just a random number generator, but they just don't. I wish I could use real dice. I might try to come up with a system to do that, but anyway, I digress. So that minion missed, and that's the only minion left on here. So now it is Alara's turn. Now I think now is where Alara needs to do something really special. So if she shifts, she's got to still be able to see these other creatures that she's targeting. And I think we really want to get her doing something against like Irontooth. So now I think is where we want to try to use sleep. So like, what's the will? I mean, they've got some pretty high will scores. Yeah, the only place she could move, I mean, she can move down here or she can move down here, but that takes her out of line of sight of any of these creatures over here. So I just want to be mindful of that, she won't give up. I mean, she could shift over here to not do an opportunity attack, but I don't know that gains her anything. I'm trying to think if yeah, I mean, it seems like the sleep would be a good, so it's going to be each creature in the burst though. Wand of Accuracy. Against one target when using your wand. Okay, that'll come in handy. So then, yeah. All right, so sleep is a burst within 20 squares. So, I mean, so it's not, the distance isn't a problem, but it's a burst 2, which means she needs to kind of put it way over. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong. Let me switch over to this map so we can see better. So she needs to kind of put it way over here. She needs to put it actually exactly right there. Oh, well, okay. So if she does the range spell next to the minion, then that's going to give up an opportunity attack. But if she shifts away, then, oh, okay. So she can shift down here to get away from the minion and then move up here, and then she'd still have line of sight to the folks she's trying to hit. Okay. And then if she does sleep back here, let's see, or she does it here, she can hit yeah. She would hit all 3 of these. She wouldn't get Dragon Shield number 2, but she would and then yeah. I'll move her. I'll still move her back there. I think that'll be fine. Then Therian can deal with this minion on his turn because he's coming up soon. So, well, he's coming up. All right, so let me do that. So let's get her moved. She's gonna shift here to avoid the opportunity attack, and then she's gonna just move back over here to make sure she's got line of sight. She will then use sleep, her daily spell. She'll plant that one over here, and that will hit Irontooth, the Worm Priest, and Dragon Shield number 1. So all 3 of these folks are gonna get the sleep thing. That's going to be a +4 versus will, but she will use her Wand of Accuracy on her attack on Irontooth. So she'll get a +2 bonus when for the attack on Irontooth. So it'll be a +6 for Irontooth against Irontooth. So +6 versus his will of 17. Yeah. All right. That almost makes up for the miss earlier. Okay. So that is a success on Irontooth. So Irontooth is slowed and potentially could fall asleep. So So there we go. So that was Irontooth. Next will be the Worm Priest. And this one, she already used the Wand of Accuracy, so this will be just a +4 versus the Worm Priest's Will of 15. +4 versus 15. All right, let's just move on from that one quickly. And then Dragon Shield number 1 has a Will of 13, so +4 versus 13. All right, well, we got Irontooth at least, so that's something. So Irontooth is now slowed, and which is good because his tactic is to try to move into a flanking position, and so now with him being slowed, he's not going to be able to do that. So, well, I guess he could, but but not as well. Anyway, there we go. So that took care of that. So she moved. She did sleep as her standard action. So I think we're good with. I think we're good with Laura. Okay, moving on. Now it's the Worm Priest. So we're back to the Worm Priest again here, and let's see what we got here with the Worm Priest. That's optimism. I like it, Sean. Optimism. So, let's see. I am seeing Dragon Breath is what I'm seeing. Blast 3. Well, yeah, I think she's going to move up, and then she's going to do her Dragon Breath, and she's going to get both Haldor and Keldrick. So, all right, there she goes. She's going up there, and she's using her Dragon Breath, which is going to be +6 versus their Fortitude. So Keldrick has 14 and Haldor has 15. So +6. I don't know. +6. Nope. Not going to get it on Keldrick. And let's try Haldor. +6. Yeah, she will get Haldor. So she succeeds against Haldor, and that's going to be 1d10 +3 fire damage. Oh, still takes half damage on a miss. Oh, crap. Okay. Man. All right. So Haldor is taking 11 points of damage. Which means he is once again bloodied. And Keldrick is taking half that, so that will be 5 points of damage for Keldrick, and Keldrick is also bloodied. So, that's not so great. All right, so that could have gone better. We've got our two toughest fighters here are. Oh, what did I roll? Let's see. What did I roll? Oh, it's so that wouldn't have made any difference. So because he got a +2, because she rolled a 15 +6 is going to be a 21. His Fortitude only only brought it up to a 17. So yeah, he did get a bonus to it, but it wouldn't have made any difference. It still was going to hit. So all right. Our two heavy hitters are bloodied now. All right. And yeah, we are to Lyra, and she has combat advantage, so she can do sneak attack. All right. So she has combat advantage on number 2. Let's see. She will do just Sly Flourish. Are we thinking? I don't think there's any positioning strike. I don't think really adds anything. She doesn't want to move, so yeah. The Sly Flourish only does 1d4 damage. But if, well, sorry, we have sneak attack. So if she hits, then she'll get her sneak attack. That's really what we're after here. So, all right, +8 versus the armor class of 18. But plus combat advantage +2. So it's going to be +10 versus 18. Let's see how we do. +10 versus 18. Yeah, that'll do it. So 23 versus 18 is definitely going to hit. So she's going to get a 1d4 plus 2d8. Ooh, nice. That is 15 plus 7 for the Sly Flourish. So that's 15 plus 7. That is 22 damage on that Dragon Shield number 2. So that Dragon Shield is bloodied. He's still around, but he is very much wishing he stayed home today. So nicely done there. All right, so that is her standard action. Are we thinking? I think we hold off on action points at this point. We're going to need the action points in a second. I think they're really going to come in handy really in a minute. So, because we haven't used any of those yet, and I think we're about to really need them. So, so I think we hold off there and let's just go. It's going to be the Dragon Shield's turn now. So, I don't have any notes on them. So now Dragon Shield 1 is probably going to go after Keldrek. Can't really move anywhere. So, and they get a bonus for adjacent allies. So I think we're looking at just a straight short sword on Keldrek +7. I think I want to save the action point because I think that because she doesn't have combat advantage over Dragon Shield number 1, and I don't really want to use it on Dragon Shield number 2. So I think we're gonna wait. That Worm Priest and Iron Tooth are going to be a problem. So anyway, let's, especially after this. So this Dragon Shield is going to be +7 versus Keldrek. Keldrek does have 3 extra hit points. I forgot about those. So he does have 3 temporary hit points. So +7 versus his armor class of where is it? His armor class is 20. So let's see how we do. Oh man, that was close. All right, so no worries there. So he missed anyway, and so we're good. So that Dragon Shield didn't do anything. Dragon Shield number 2 is going to attack Lyra. So that's going to be +7 versus her armor class of 16. So let's see how that one does. That one's going to hit. And that's a 1d6, and then she's going to be marked. 4 plus 3, that's 7 for her. Where is she? So she's not in great, but she is marked. All right, so she has a mark on her. I can put that. There we go. There we go. Indicates she's marked. And so that's it for the Dragon Shields. And which brings us to Iron Tooth. Are the saves at the end of the turn or the beginning of the turn? I never remember. I'm sure someone will get an answer before I actually can find it in here. End of the turn. All right, so he's going to do his whole turn, and let's see how he makes out. So he is slowed. So he's got is that 2 squares, I think? Two. So he can only move 2 squares, which is enough to get him into flanking position against Keldrick. But then if he does that, then he can't use his dual axe. So, but he would still get his bonus. So he can move to be flanking with Keldrick. And then he's going to get his plus 10 versus Keldrick's armor class of 20. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that's not, the damage is not too bad, actually. It's 1d8 plus 4. So that is 9 damage on Keldrick. So Keldrick is definitely not doing very well. He is down to just 4 hit points. So Keldrick is going to need some healing. Oh, Keldrick can do... did he do his second wind? No, Haldor. So Keldrick is going to do a second wind. So there you go. So he'll do a healing surge and then get his +2 to all of his stuff. So, oh, and Keldrick also still has, I keep forgetting, Keldrick has 3 extra hit points too. So and so we'll do a healing surge for him, and that gets him back up to, so he has, all right, so Keldrick has 11 hit points, but he has 3 temporary hit points as well on top of that. So I don't have that tracked on here, but he does have, so he's technically up to 14 hit points. So it's not great, but it's something to work with. So, and then because he used his second wind, he will have a +2 to his armor class in the next round. So, yeah, I think it's time for Therian to start doing some stuff here. So that we're now at the point where everyone is going to be using everything, any special abilities and powers and whatnot. Now's the time to do it. Action points are all in play. It's time to make some progress here. So, so Haldor, we'll go ahead and pull him up and have a look at him. And we've got spinning sweep where we could try to knock it. Oh, Irontooth has to do a saving throw. I forgot. Man, that's kind of important. All right, here we go. This is a saving throw. This could change everything. Man. All right, well, he passed the saving throw. So, so yeah, that was pretty much it for the sleep. So that was our best hope, was that the sleep was going to actually put him to sleep, but it did not work for us. So, hey, Emmy, how you doing? Glad you could at least stop by to say hello. Glad to have you here. So, we'll see if we make it through this this fight with our characters intact. So, let's see. So that was our saving throw. So let's looking at Alara. Sorry, I rolled that save and I realized that the PDF was on the screen. Irontooth's save was a 15, so he passed the saving throw, and so he is not slowed anymore, and he is not going to fall asleep. All right, so for Alara, it's time to start using some serious attacks here. We've already used sleep. Burning Hands is her counter power. It's versus reflex. They have pretty good reflex, but you know, at this point I think it's Ray of Frost. There we go. Cold damage, and the target is slowed, so we could at least get them slowed. Would be something. Burning Hands though does more damage. Or we do both. Use it, Burning Hands, then do an action point and Ray of Frost. Probably the way to go. So let's do that. So Burning Hands is a blast 5. And it's a blast 5. It's just blast 5. So she's got to move up there. And it's each creature in the blast. 1, 2, 3. Oh, this minion is still here. Frick. This freaking minion. 1. Yeah, she can't. Yeah, Scorching Burst was... I was just trying to think of... Let's do Scorching Burst on this minion. Oh, no, let's do Magic Missile on this minion and be done with it. And then we'll do something else. So... Oh, why am I on Alara? What am I doing? I'm sorry. DM completely lost it there. Somehow I'm looking at I thought we were at Alara. I have no idea what I missed there. Okay, sorry. We are not at Alara. We are at Haldor. Sorry about that. So all right. Well, while I was sitting there goofing off, figuring out what Alara is going to do, 3 turns from now. Let's see. We got Haldor should move and flank Irontooth. So he's going to give up an opportunity attack if he does that. So he's going to give up an opportunity attack. Oh no, he can shift. Well, no, that's his move. So, what's his current? Let me get back to the. So Haldor is at 15 hit points. So Haldor's at 15. Yeah, that's a lot of characters and monsters. All right, let's give up the opportunity attack. And I feel like there's something I'm missing that would get him out of there. So if he moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he'll give up an opportunity attack, but then he'd be flanking and can actually maybe do some damage here, because then we could actually even do like spinning sweep and try to knock him prone. And then he's got combat advantage, which gives him +6, which we're going to need because he's a tough one to hit. So, Brute Strike would probably be the better. Oh, and it's got a reliable thing. Okay. All right. Let's take our chances. So he's going to move there. That's going to give up an opportunity attack to Irontooth. So Irontooth's going to get to do his Battle Axe, which is a +8 versus Haldor's armor class of 17. +8 versus 17. It's going to hit. This is where he just knocks him straight unconscious. And 2 plus 4 is 6. So that's going to take him down to 5 hit points. So, you know, all right, it is what it is. I mean, we gotta see what we can do. So now he took that damage and he's going to move like so. And now he's flanking with Iron Tooth. I think I want to go with Brute Strike, because this one, if we miss, it's a reliable daily power. So, that one, spinning sweep and then action point. Yep. There you go. Perfect. Spinning sweep. Let's do it. +6. So and then with combat advantage, +8 versus 18. This is going to be tough. +8 versus 18. Oh, man. All right, that's no good. All right, but we will we'll use our action point, and now we're going to do Brute Strike, and we'll also be +8 versus 18. All right, that one is going to hit. All right, and that's the better one to hit. So, so that is going to be 6d6 plus 3 damage. Oh, that's a lot of ones. That's 20 plus 3. That's 23 damage. So it's something, at least. It gets us started. He's at least taken some damage now. And he's flanked for Keldrek, and Keldrek will be coming up. Keldrek's got choices because he's I think Keldrek's going to turn and take on Iron Tooth. So, all right, so that's Haldor. He's still around. Now Therian. Okay, so Therian, what do we got? Now I'm thinking we're talking like Healing Strike. Do radiant damage. Target is marked, which then kind of forces Iron Tooth to have to come after him or take penalties. And then an ally can spend a healing surge. I think that's the one we go. Yeah, all right. So Therian, and he's got to go. That's okay. I'm okay with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he'll go right there. Okay, so... And then it's +3 versus armor class. Oh, I don't know. That's going to be a tough. That's going to be a tough one. So +3 versus 18. So do that one first. Yeah, he has more luck of hitting that one. Good point. Well, it's still an 18. The Dragon Shield is an armor class of 18 also. So yeah, there's not much else. So either way, we'll go against the Dragon Shield and try to finish it off. No. I want Iron Tooth because I want the target marked. So, oh, yeah. All right. Well, let me do the minion. Sorry. Freaking minion. +5 versus armor class. 16. How are these minions still sticking around? What did I do? Okay, he missed. Minion missed on the opportunity attack, so we're done with that. At some point, we'll deal with that minion. All right, so Therian is going to do his +3 healing strike, +3 versus the 18 armor class of Iron Tooth. That's a tall order. Oh. And just to really rub it in, we're going to get a 17 is what we're going to get. I'm trying to see if there's any bonuses that I missed. Not seeing anything. So, all right. The problem with Therian is that he does not have much of an attack bonus, and I don't think he's going to get past the armor class of these monsters. So, And the Dragon Shield and Iron Tooth are both armor class 18. So I just don't see that that's going to do much. So he's kind of put himself in a spot here. I don't know. He can at least draw some attention away from the other folks. So there you go. All right, it is Keldrick's turn. Keldrick is going to go after Iron Tooth. So, and he's going to do, we're going all in Paladin's Judgment. He's going to mark Iron Tooth and, then, Action Surge +3. Oh, I completely missed. Keldrick has Dragonborn Fury. He gets, when he's bloodied, he gets a +1 bonus to his attacks. I missed that one. Oh, I hope that didn't come into play earlier. All right. All right. So, all right. So Keldrick is going to do, he's doing Paladin's Judgment. He gets a he is flanking, and he gets a +1 because he's bloodied. So that's going to be a +3 on top of the 7. So it's going to be a +10 versus armor class against Iron Tooth. So Iron Tooth is an 18. So +10 versus 18. Got it. All right. So that is a hit on Iron Tooth. That is going to be 3d8, and someone can spend a healing surge. There we go. All right. So let's do the... Woo, yeah, 9 + 7, that's 16, +4 is 20 points of damage on Iron Tooth. Okay, we are cooking with gas now. All right, and someone can spend a healing surge. By the way, he also did Divine Challenge, so he marked Iron Tooth, just FYI. So I need to make a note of that. All right. And then someone within 5 squares can spend a healing surge. So which should be I feel like I want it to be Haldor. Yes, it's going to be Haldor because Lyra has not spent her second wind yet, but Haldor has. So Haldor needs his healing surge. Okay. So he will do his healing surge, and that's going to give him 7 back. That puts him at 22. So he is in good shape. He is no longer bloodied. So, all right, there we go. Haldor, that's good. Lyra is marked by Dragon Shield 2, but she has not spent her second wind, so I think she can she'll be able to do that on her turn. All right, so that was Keldrick. He did his Paladin's Judgment, which was a standard action. I don't believe he has any. He already used his Dragon Breath. Lay on Hands is a minor action. It's a touch. He's not adjacent to anybody, so that doesn't help any. So I think we're good with Keldrick. This friggin' minion is still there. And really has no choice but to go after Alara. Oh. +5 versus her armor class. Okay. No dice there. Okay, but now that's okay. She's just gonna stand there. All right, and it is her turn. So she. What did she do last time? She did scorch. I think did she just do scorching burst or ray of frost? She did ray of frost, and then did she do burning hands? I wish I didn't make a note of it. I wasn't sure if he could heal himself. That's the part I wasn't sure. So, I'm just going to leave her right there. I'm not going to move her. I'll save that for. So let me. I'm trying to think. I think I want a magic missile, but that's her action then. But honestly, I don't know that she's got much else that she could do. So, because I think we already used up her stuff. Yeah, that's right. Because we did her wand of accuracy and we did the burning hands. So there's really not much. So all right, yeah, she's just gonna magic missile this friggin' minion and be done with it. So, all right, that's her. That's her contribution. She'll do that, and she'll actually move. I'm gonna have her move up so that she's at least closer to if she needs to do something later. She'll be there. So that's oh, she can do her action point. Yeah, okay, action point. But what does she have? Scorching burst. Sure, I guess, versus reflex. So scorching burst. If she does it right here, she'll get the Worm Priest and that other dragon shield. And +4 versus their reflex. So the Worm Priest has 15. The dragon shield is 13. So we'll do the Worm Priest first. +4. Yeah, +4. 11 +4 is, yep, that's going to hit. That's going to exactly hit. And then that was the Worm Priest. The dragon shield +4. That's not going to hit. So it'll hit the Worm Priest, but not the dragon shield. 1d6 +4 fire damage. So 4 +4 is 8 fire damage on that dragon shield. Oh wow, okay. Oh, sorry, it was the Worm Priest. It missed the dragon shield. Sorry, that was the Worm Priest. Okay, got that. So that was her action point. And I think that's going to be it for her. Okay. Now it's the Worm Priest, who has a choice, either Haldor or Keldric. Haldor or Keldric. I'm going to send the Worm Priest after Haldor. Because. And this is just going to be a straight spear. +7 versus 17. Nice. All right, so that's it for the Worm Priest. Keep that one simple. We're going to keep things moving along here. And then we get to Lyra. All right, so Lyra is in a pretty good spot. So she has combat advantage on number 2. So she will go ahead and use that to try to finish off number 2, and then she can still use an action point to do something else. And I think so we'll see what she can get there. So and yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so she will attack number 2, and it's going to be so let's see what's she going to use. She'll just use Sly Flourish and attack number 2. So +8 versus the armor class of 18. +8 versus 18. +2 because she has combat advantage. +10 versus 18. 21. that is going to hit, and that will do just 1d4 plus 2d8. So that's 12, 14 plus 7. Way more than what that Dragon Shield had left in the tank. So we got, oops. There we go. So that Dragon Shield is done. And she can now use an action point and move to flank. Yeah, so she then, okay, there you go. So she hasn't moved yet. So if she moves here, then she'll give an opportunity. Oh, positioning strike. So, well, she'll just give up an opportunity attack. Yeah, so, okay, so she gets a +3 bonus to opportunity attacks. Oh, +5 bonus because of nimble reaction. Okay, so she has a +5 against. So, all right, there you go. Yep. Perfect. So Dragon Shield is going to be +7 against her armor class, but her armor class is actually going to be a 21. So +7 versus 21 for the opportunity attack. Closer than I would have liked, but not enough to hit. So she passes the opportunity attack. She is now in flanking position with Dragon Shield 1, and she will spend her action point and do positioning strike. So that's going to be +8, or rather +10 versus will of 13. So +10 versus 13 on Dragon Shield number 1. 10 is going to be a 16 versus 13, so that will hit, and that is going to do 2d4 plus 4 damage. 5 plus 4, that's going to be 9 damage against Dragon Shield 1. All right, so now, believe it or not, that is the first damage that Dragon Shield 1 has taken. I don't think she can only do sneak attack. She only would get the sneak attack damage once per round, but she still had combat advantage though. But she didn't. I didn't get. Did I roll? Did I roll? I didn't roll sneak attack damage on that one. I just rolled the 2d4. So yeah. So she got combat advantage, but no sneak attack damage. So, and so now that has given some damage to Dragon Shield number 1 finally. So, and then she has used her action point. And okay. And now we got the one Dragon Shield left, and that Dragon Shield is going to attack her. And this is going to be, doesn't look like it can really do any of the other stuff. So, 7 versus her armor class of 16. So +7 versus 16. That's only an 11. That's not going to do it. So that Dragon Shield misses. And he's the only Dragon Shield left. And we get to Iron Tooth. Now, Iron Tooth is marked by Keldric. So Iron Tooth has to attack Keldric. Unfortunately, Keldric only has 8 hit points remaining, so that's unfortunate. But we'll see how we make out here. So we'll do a. He can actually. Well, no, he can't because he's marked. I don't really see that much will benefit him. I don't think that he'll do the dual axes because he has to attack Keldrick, and he has to attack two different creatures if he does dual axe. Goblin tactics, if he misses, he can shift, but he's got no real benefit in shifting. Oh, yeah, he really wouldn't benefit from shifting because he'll still be flanked, or be in a position where he could be flanked. He's not bloody, and he's not bloodied. So this would just be a straight 8 plus 8 versus Keldrick's 20. And Keldrick has a +2 to armor class because he has used his second wind. So so he's got a 22. So +8 versus 22. Okay. So all right. Keldrick is about to have to start making some death saves. So he is at Keldrick is actually dying now. So Irontooth is living up to his reputation. Oops. So Keldrick is dying, and he will have to start making death saves on his turn. That was to be expected. So now, unfortunately, he's not flanking anymore. So, but Haldor can shift and be flanking with Therian. So I think we're still okay there. So let's see what Haldor's got. Haldor already used both of his encounter powers, so he doesn't have a whole lot left. I think he's pretty much stuck to just doing Reaping Strike. He totally did last round. Yeah. No, we'll just go with it. That's a wink thing, but he didn't actually do it, so we won't do that one. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I don't regret that one, but all right, Haldor is going to shift here. So now he's still flanking. He's still flanking Irontooth with Therian, and he's going to do Reaping Strike. Trying to see if he's got anything else in here. Yeah. All right, so Reaping Strike, it'll end up being a +8 versus the 18 armor class. +8. Oh, man. Just, the heavy hitters are just not getting it done when we need them. But he hasn't. No, he did use his action point. He used his action point last time because he did Brute Strike. So he's out of action points. So no action point there. Not much else to do. All right. Therian. Therian is also flanking. All right. So now Therian is flanking. What can Therian do? We tried. What can Therian do? Lance of Faith, but that's ranged. Beacon of Hope. Beacon of Hope, I guess. It's okay. I think Therian will do Beacon of Hope. It's a close burst 3. Each enemy in the burst. Yeah, because we can hit all 3 of these enemies. And they will all be then weakened if we succeed. And then all the allies get to regain 5 hit points. Okay, so Beacon of Hope. Yeah, there you go. This is the big one. All right. It's +3 versus will. And so Iron Tooth has a will of 17, the Worm Priest has 15, and the Dragon Shield's 13. So let's start with Iron Tooth. It's not +3, and he's got to get a 17. Nope. So no go on Iron Tooth. The Worm Priest has a 15. All right, we got it with the Worm Priest, and then a 13 for the Dragon Shield. No deal. So just the Worm Priest. So the Worm Priest, the Worm Priest is weakened. That's an interesting. I'll have to look that one up. And then allies and everyone, you and all your allies in the burst. Oh, sorry. It's a burst 3. Yeah, okay. All the allies in the burst. Just barely. Can spend a healing surge. Regain 5 hit points, which means Keldrek is no longer dying. So there we go. That just like that. He is still bloodied though. So Keldrek is no longer dying. Haldor gets 5 hit points back. Haldor's actually doing pretty well as far as hit points go. And then Lyra gets 5 hit points back as well. Where's she at? She was at 13, yeah. All right. And then Therian didn't have any damage. So, all right, so those hit points since now Keldrek has 5 hit points, so he's good. He's not dying anymore. So, +3 from Lair. I am determined to never remember that. So, I don't know what I would do without you, Sean. I need you to keep me honest there. So, Haldor is just on it, though. I wish he had more stuff he could do, but he's already used his action point and everything. So, all right. So, there we go. Keldrek's still the worst off, but at least he's not unconscious anymore. He is still in the fight. If we can get around to him, we can, because he's the next one to go. So, all right, perfect. So he doesn't have to make a saving throw. He can actually do something. So, so he already used his Paladin's Judgment. Laying on hands, minor action. So we'll go ahead and he'll lay on hands, spend a healing surge. We will do it this time. So surge is this is where we can hope that things take a turn. So he is actually not bloodied anymore. How about that? He went from in the matter of a couple turns, he went from needing to make death saves to now he's not even bloodied. So, all right, there we go. Unfortunately, he has used his Paladin's Judgment. We did his Radiant Smite already. We've used his Dragon Breath. We've used his Lay on Hands, so pretty much we're looking at Valiant Strike is I think really what we're doing. So Keldrek, he's got 4 enemies adjacent to him. Valiant Strike, so no question he's going to do Valiant Strike on Iron Tooth. Unfortunately, he's not flanking anymore. So, but he's got 4 enemies adjacent to him, and he gets a +7 bonus, which means he's going to get a +11 bonus to this attack on Iron Tooth with Valiant Strike. So +11 versus 18. 9 + 11 is a 20. That will hit, and it's going to be 1d8 + 4. Two plus 4, that's going to be a 6. There we go. So, and I think that's pretty much it for Keldrick there. He used his action point already, so he can't do anything there. So I think we're good with Keldrick. Now we're back to Alara. Now Alara finally finished off that minion. She does not have much left either because she did burning hands. So pretty much Scorching Burst, Ray of Frost. So I think she's going to go against the the Dragon Shield, and the Worm Priest is the armor class on these is not great. Reflex, her best bet is the Dragon Shield. So Scorching Burst on the Dragon Shield. So that's what she'll do. She's going to do Scorching Burst on the Dragon Shield, and what's the fortitude? Yeah. Yep. Scorching Burst. Sorry, I keep repeating it, but there it is. So +4 versus fortitude of, a reflex of 13. Just to rub it in, it's going to do it twice. All right. Well, we need to fix that. So that's not going to help. So she is, oops, sorry, I didn't move that one. So Kobold is gone. And then we're back to the Worm Priest. I feel like I feel like we've used our powers, and it's going to be really hard for us to finish these off. I don't know. I'm like, some of these dice rolls gotta flip the other way on us. It's unfortunate. The spear. So she's gonna go after Haldor with her spear. So she's just gonna go through that. So +7 versus his 17. I mean, geez. I mean, the heroes are rolling, 3s and 2s, and they're rolling these huge numbers. Three, so just a straight 3. All right, well, that's not too bad. He was pretty good on his health, so it's not such a big deal. And then she'll stay where she is. And now we've got Lyra. Lyra is now flanking this Dragon Shield. So that's something. So if we can... But she's already used... she has not used Trick Strike. She has her Trick Strike. So if we want to just go ahead and do that... no. She's going to save that. She's going to... She's just gonna do Sly Flourish with combat advantage here, and just really focus on this one, because she'll get a +10 versus this Dragon Shield's 18. So I think that's the route we're gonna go here. So just barely got that one. Yeah, I'm saving Trick Strike because I'm looking at the screen and I'm thinking to myself, if she can get rid of this Dragon Shield, she can move, and we could end up flanking flanking Iron Tooth from multiple characters, from multiple heroes could be flanking. And so everybody's rolling with combat advantage. And I would hate for her to use her big attack on this dragon shield when we really need it for, we're going to need it for Iron Tooth. But she did hit here, and that's going to be 1d4 plus 2d8 because she will get her sneak attack damage. So... and that's an 11 plus 7 is going to be an 18. So that dragon shield is definitely in a bad way right now. So still hanging in there, but so that is her, and she already used her action point, so she can't do anything else there. So she'll just stay there, but she'll be in a good position because we'll see if Keldrick can stay conscious. It'll be okay. Now it's his turn, so that dragon shield will turn his attention to Lyra. And what did they got? I think it's got this short sword. So +7 versus armor class. Her armor class is a 16. So +7 versus 16. Man. 1d6 plus 3. All right, well, that's something. So that'll just be 4 damage for her. She can take that for now and be okay with that. So no worries. And then we're back to Iron Tooth. So Iron Tooth, let's send him after Therian. Oh yeah, because he's not marked anymore. So he'll do his battle axe. I'm just doing his battle axe. And then 1d8, that's 2. So 6 damage on Therian. So that's pretty straightforward. So the damage that Iron Tooth is doing is not too bad. It's just that it's really just that it's really hard to hit him because he's... There we go. All right, because he's got such a high armor class, and some of his other ones are pretty high as well, and so that's kind of just where it gets a little crazy. All right, but now we are back to Haldor. Haldor is flanking with Therian, but has nothing available to him except, oh, he could do Cleave. Yeah, let's do Cleave. We can maybe chip away at both the Worm Priest and... So their armor class is basically the same. So he's going to get a +6, +2 for combat advantage. So he'll have a +8 versus armor class going against Iron Tooth. So let's see how he makes out here. I'll take it. So that is a hit there. So that's going to be 2d6 plus 3 versus... Oh my god, are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me? Oh my god. So that's going to be 5 damage there, and it'll be another 3 damage to the Worm Priest. So if it's any consolation, the Worm Priest is now bloodied. So that's a little something. But man, he also has already used his action point, so he's got nothing there. All right, and then somehow we're back to Therian again. That was fast. Did I? Oh no, so Therian first. So Therian. All right. Therian is flanking Irontooth also. And pretty much, I think probably Sacred... well, Lance of Faith is going to do... yeah, Lance of Faith. So, oh, it's ranged. I can't do ranged because he's adjacent. Oh, frick, he doesn't have... I can't do a ranged attack when I'm in melee. So a basic melee attack with his mace is just going to be a +5. So I either have a choice. I either do a basic attack, which is just a +5 versus an 18, or I shift away to do Lance of Faith, which then is just going to be a +3 versus reflex, which will be like a 16. But I could do that. I don't have to do that against Irontooth. But it's, reflex is either going to be a 50 against a 15 for the Worm Priest. I could try to finish off the Dragon Shield. The basic attack is a +5 with the flanking, because it's only a +3 for the basic attack. And I don't see anything else that he's got available to him. Yeah, he's pretty much... I'm going to go with the basic attack. I'm going to keep the combat. I want to keep the flanking. I don't want to run the risk of moving that. So it's going to be a +5 versus 18. He hits. Yeah, Haldor can't hit anything, but Therian, our lowly cleric, is going to hit. So that's going to be a 1d8 +1. Yeah, there. I expect nothing less. So that's 9 damage on that. So, believe it or not, Irontooth is now bloodied. Whew. So all of our enemies are bloodied now, and Therian did. We did. Did he use his action point? I don't have a note that he did. Lyric, Keldrick, Ilara. All right. Well, if nobody chimes in and says that he used his action point, then I'm going to have him use his action point again. He's still got combat advantage and he's feeling it. So whatever. Even if he uses action point, I'm still giving him another one. So. Basic attack, +5 versus 18. That's what you call karma. All right. We're just going to pretend that didn't happen. All right. Keldrick. That's where, yeah. There's the D&D overseers are keeping me in line there for that one. All right, fine. All right. Then we're back to Keldrick. I think I saw some. So we want Keldrick to go after the. Keldrick is not flanking anybody, so Keldrick could go after the Dragon Shield and finish him off. He's got Valiant Strike. He'll get a +11 against this Dragon Shield. So yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. So +11 versus 18. That'll be a 24. And then it's going to be 1d8 +4 damage. 5 + 4 is 9, which means that Dragon Shield is done. There we go. No, I say there we go, but I got to first get there. There we go. All right, we are done with the Dragon Shield now. Take him off the list. All right, it's just the two heavy hitters, the Worm Priest and Iron Tooth himself. Keldrick already used his action point, so there we go. Ilara. I feel like Ilara doesn't have a whole lot that she can do. Scorching Burst. But it affects every creature. Ray of Frost. I mean, I guess the Magic Missile just going to deal. It's only 6 points of damage. I mean, I guess it's better than nothing. So I guess I'll take it. All right, Magic Missile on Iron Tooth. So just there you go. 6 points of damage. Every little bit helps. That's really all it takes. So, and that is her standard action. Everyone has used their action point at this point. Nobody has anything else. So, all right. Now we're up to the Worm Priest. Sorry, I didn't take Iron Tooth off the screen there. We're at the Worm Priest, and Haldor, same as last time. +7 versus Haldor's 17. Yup, of course. Because they seem to hit with everything. And get high rolls on their dice. That's 6 for him. Okay. All right, fine. We're rolling. We're getting there. All right, now we get to Lyra. So Lyra. So let's see. Let's get this Worm Priest out of here. We want Lyra to flank the Worm Priest. So she could just move right up there. And yeah, I know what we're going to do. So she's going to go up to there so she can flank him. This is where eventually we're going to get to the point where we're flanking everybody. So, so now she's got combat advantage. She'll get sneak attack if she can hit. The Worm Priest reflex is 15. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong character. So if she does Sly Flourish, yeah, so Sly Flourish again, and the Worm Priest is going to be armor class of 17, so she's going to get a +10 versus 17. Let's see how we do. Okay, that'll hit. That's going to be a 20. And then we got, once again, we get a 1d4 plus 2d8 for the sneak attack. There it is. Come on. Don't fail me now. Oh, that is nice. And then +7 on top of that. Believe it or not, that is how you do that. The Worm Priest is done. It is just Iron Tooth now. This is where it all comes together. So, all right. So, but it is Iron Tooth's turn. And let's see what he's got now. He actually... So he actually gets a plus 1d10 to his damage. And then he heals 5 hit points at the end of his turn. So that's going to be... So he's going to attack Haldor. And let me see. Yeah, he's going to go after Haldor with his battle axe. So +8 versus 17. Which is going to hit. So which means he's going to do 1d8 plus 1d10. Oof. 12 plus 4 on top of that. So that's going to be, so Keldrek is actually now dying again. So that is unfortunate. So Keldrek is down. And Irontooth has 5 hit points back. So if there was a time where we needed to really do something special, it is right now, because we have the entire lineup to go through, and we can to try to finish off Irontooth. So one by one, let's do it. Haldor. Oh, did I say? Oh, you're right. Sorry. Jeez. So let's see. So 12, 16. Yeah. So sorry. Which is actually okay. So never mind. So we're still good. We're still good. We got 14. Okay. That's even better. Okay. So things are not as dire as I thought, because now nobody is out of the fight. Everyone is still here, and in fact, I had Lyra still marked as marked, but she is not marked anymore. So, hang on. She just went away there. There we go. All right. So, all right. Well, good. Even better. We've got everyone still in this fight, and we've got the full party to go through to try to finish off Irontooth before we get around to his turn again. So, all right. Here we go. So, if Haldor... So, Haldor's flanking right now. So, if we want to shift him... Oh, yeah. So, if we shift him to be flanking with Keldrek, and that would put him in position to actually flank with... he can flank with anybody at this point. So, he can flank every... hopefully he only has this last turn, and then we finish him off. But, all right. So, shift, and then Reaping Strike on Irontooth, and that way it gets a damage even on a miss, and so we'll see. So, all right, so let's do that. So Haldor is going to shift and will be in flanking position with Keldrek, and then is going to do Reaping Strike, which will be a +8 versus 18. Oh my goodness. All right. No go on Haldor. That was... Still looking for anything special that that gives him a bonus, but nothing. All right. Therian. Ah, yeah. So Therian will shift up here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove some of these other folks out of the mix so that we're focusing on just the ones that are in play. All right. So Therian shifts up there, and he's not flanking anybody right now. But that's okay. So we'll just... So let's see. And we have the same problem with him. He's not flanking anybody, and so he really has nothing of value that he can do. So his basic attack is just a +3, but he'll go ahead and do it. +3 versus 18. Nope, not going to get it done. So, but that's okay. So next up is Keldrek, who is flanking with Haldor. And so this is going to be Radiant Strike, but there's only one enemy left. So that's going to be a +8 8 plus 2 for combat advantage is going to be a plus 10 versus 18. I mean, you are all seeing this too, right? You see the fact that all these enemies, every time they roll, I'm getting 17s, 18, 19s, and this is what I get for the heroes. Oh, you want to try to do that? I didn't even consider that. So, all right, I'd be willing to give that a try. So, plus 2 to intimidate. Let's take a look. Let's see. I'm okay with that, you know. Just look up some stuff here real quick. So it's versus will. Unfortunately, the will, Irontooth's will is quite strong. So you know what? Whatever. So he just gets a plus 2 to intimidate, and it's going to be against his will of 17. So nope. Plus 10? Where are you getting a plus 10 to intimidate? Well, you fill me in on that one. I'm going to move forward to Alara, but I'm curious where we're getting the plus 10, because I'm still looking. I'm trying to find it. So it's okay. So skill bonus is plus 2. Oh. I'm looking in the. Oh, you're right. Okay. See, yes, you're right. I was looking in the wrong place. Okay. So he did. So he only needed, yeah. Okay. So he only needed a 7 to convince Irontooth to surrender. So he gets plus 10 to the 13 that he rolled. That's 23. The will of Irontooth is only a 17, and there we go. So I see it now. I completely missed the table there. So all right, I'm good with it, because if it failed, then we would have had to go through a whole nother round, and I think we got the point, right? So I think. So they, he gets up in Irontooth's grill. Irontooth is a goblin who is acting above his station, if you will, and being surrounded by 4 other people who are beating him down, including a wizard standing off on the side, ready to throw a magic missile his way. Yeah, done. So. I'll determine offline what kind of questioning they want to do of Irontooth. Perhaps they drag him back into Winterhaven and put him on trial for all of his misdeeds and all of that. Yeah, I think Lair would have had enough of a bonus. Probably would have done pretty well to finish him off. So, all right, but there we are. Whew. As expected, that was even larger of a battle than I thought it was going to be. I knew it was going to be something, because there were some pretty big creatures in there. it definitely lived up to all of that stuff that I thought. And that's including the skirmisher that fell asleep early on and never quite realized what was going on around them. So, but there we are. All right. I think we're done. I think I appreciate everybody hanging in there and providing all the wonderful advice and keeping me honest along the way. That one was a complex one to run with a lot of things. We used everything. We used all the action points. We used all of the second wins. And there was not much left, but, and honestly, the intimidate at the end was the thing that really pushed us over the top. So, we barely made it, but we did. So anyway, I had a lot of fun. I hope everybody else did too. It was that was a blast, and it shows how much tactical 4th edition can be, and how you really got to be using all these different traits and doing everything. So it was wonderful. So yeah, and then this is the level 1 characters. You know, we're only at first level, and this is the type of stuff that we're doing, which is, you know, there's none of this having to wait till you get to level 3 or level 5 before you get anything really interesting to do. There's a lot of stuff these characters were able to do here, so it was pretty good. So, but yeah, I had a great time. I hope everybody else did. I appreciate all the feedback in the chat, and I will have a recap up on the newsletter. I'll try to get it through this weekend. So sometime Saturday or Sunday, I hope to have that up there for the newsletter if you are subscribing to that. So check it out. It's down in the description. But definitely like the video, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. And I appreciate everything. I appreciate all the feedback. We will not have a stream next week because of the holidays, but we will have one the week after that, and we will pick this up and run with it, and keep going with the encounters. But thank you everyone for joining me. Thanks for the feedback, and I look forward to doing it again. So until next time, take care.